Namaskar and welcome. Next is the fourth element known as Pranayama. Prana plus Yama equals Pranayama. Prana is vital force. It's life force. The body is full of so-called prana. And Yama means to control the prana, control the movement of this prana. Prana, what is prana? Prana belongs to aerial factor. Prana is an aerial element. And that's why we use breathing exercises to control it. When we breathe through the nose in a very specific way, one gets in contact with the movement of the so-called prana in the body, and one are able to control it. Because the nostrils are connected to those channels where the prana is moving. Those channels are known as nadis. The body is full of nadis, and these aerial elements are moving around in these nadis and are connected to every organ, every gland, every aspect of the human body. There is prana. So important here is that this prana, this life force, is connected to the glands. So, as I just explained earlier about the glands, if there's an imbalance in the glandular secretion, we can do yoga postures, we can do asana to gain control over that. But one can also use pranayama to stimulate the secretion of hormones. If there's an over-secretion, there is an under-secretion, pranayama is another way to control that. The best is a combination of asana and of pranayama. But pranayama is also, or prana is also closely associated with the function of the vital organs, the heart, kidneys, digestion, and so on. So when one do pranayama, one also influence the function of the heart. So if it's not done correctly, it can be very dangerous. One can upset the function of the heart. One can upset the heart rhythm. One can upset the digestion, and that can be a big problem. So pranayama must be learned in a very systematic way. And in Marga, that is learned from an acharya, a dada for the brothers and a didi for the sisters. The next limb is Pratyahara. And Pratyahara means withdrawal. And here we are referring to withdrawal of the mind from the sensory organs. The sensory impressions that comes from the sensory organs, which is light that comes from the eyes, sound that comes from the ears, smell that comes from the nose, etc. These sensory impressions may disturb the mind, like, oh, it smells so nice here. Pizza, it smells of pizza. I get hungry. I don't want to meditate. I want to eat. I don't want to continue meditation. I want to stop it. I want to eat. So it's essential for success in meditation to withdraw the mind from the sensory organs so all these disturbances does not occur. When the mind has been withdrawn from the sensory organs, then that is Pratyahara. Then we go to the next limb, which is the sixth limb, which is called Dharana. And Dharana means to focus the mind on one point. And that point is always a chakra. And this depends which chakra to focus on. It depends on the person. Unless it's a higher stage of meditation, that always happens in Sahasrara chakra. But for the initial stages of Astaunga Yoga, of meditation, one practice on Pratyahara, Dharana happens either on one of the higher chakras. So once one have done Dharana, Pratyahara, one withdraw the mind from the sensory organs and then one focus the mind on one specific point. Then the mind is still. The mind is not roaming around. One is not wandering about in one's own mind from thought to thought. Now mind is focused and concentrated. And then one start limb number 7, which is called Dhyana, or just Dhyana. Dhyana can be done in different ways. It can be done with a mantra, or it can be done without a mantra. Dhyana is the actual meditation, where one is contemplating, or we can say concentrating the mind, fixing the mind on the thought of the Supreme Consciousness. Or to say it differently, one are visualizing the Supreme Consciousness in the mind. So the mind gets more and more absorbed into the thought, into the visualization of that Supreme. And the whole philosophy, the whole idea behind meditation is, as we think, so we become. We use the mantra to help us to visualize the Supreme Consciousness in the mind. But when one learns higher levels of Dhyana, one don't need a mantra anymore. When mind has become really trained, have practiced the more beginner stage of Dhyana for some time, the mind gets strong, the mind gets more, can concentrate better. One can do it without the mantra, because then it's easier to go into higher levels of meditation, or to say it different, to go into Samadhi. And Samadhi is the last stage of Astaunga Yoga. That's limb number 8. Samadhi means a unification with that Supreme, means a oneness with the Supreme Consciousness. And it's not so black and white, either you're one with it or you're not one with it. It's a gradual. You can be little bit, you can merge your mind little bit with it, and then you gradually merge more and more and more. And this happens over time. By regular practice, over months, over years, one are able to gradually go deeper and deeper into the mind, or to say it differently, go deeper and deeper penetrate deeper and deeper into the infinite Supreme Consciousness, which is beyond the mind. So one go deeper and deeper into the mind, and then one go beyond the mind, which is a oneness, a unification with that Supreme. And that is basically Astaunga Yoga in a nutshell. As one go deeper into the mind, as one start to merge more and more with that Supreme, as one start to unify more and more with that Supreme, one start to understand it, one start to know what it is, one start to know its secrets. And from yoga philosophy, we learn that everything in this universe is part of that Supreme Consciousness. So as we start to merge ourselves with that, we start to understand what it is. Means we start to understand who we are, what we are, why are we here, what is this world, what is our relationship with that Supreme, what is the whole creation. That is known as, to all know these things through meditation, that is known as intuition. And that's why yoga is also known as intuitional practice. So from intuitional practice of meditation, we start to understand the creation and beyond. And one day one can go so deep into the mind that one just merges into that ocean, infinite ocean of divinity. The closer one moves towards it, one starts to experience the feeling, the sensation of bliss. That feeling is a very beautiful feeling, and that Supreme is the source of bliss. So as we move closer towards it, we can feel the bliss stronger and stronger in the mind. It's a beautiful feeling, and once you have tried it, I warn you, you may get a bit addicted to it. It's so special. It's like love. It's like being in love. You just want it all the time. But what we learn, we must not neglect our other aspects of life. Everything is not just about meditation. Meditation is the most important practice in our life. But to be human and live in the society is also important. So this you will learn about throughout this course. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, Astaunga Yoga is also known as Raja Yoga. As the human body and human mind evolves, the system of yoga also needs to evolve. So, in modern times, another great guru, Sri Sri Anandamurti, which is the founder of Ananda Marga, took the system of Astaunga Yoga, of Raja Yoga, and adjusted it and expanded it so it fits to the modern human body and mind. And he called it Raja-dhi-raja Yoga. So Raja-dhi-raja Yoga has a few new elements that has been introduced by Anandamurti, so that one can go deeper into the practice than what one can do with just the practice of Astaunga Yoga or Raja Yoga. So this is an important contribution that he has done to this system. Okay, that was all for today. Thank you very much. I hope this have inspired you to learn more about Astaunga Yoga, more about this wonderful practice that is so important for the individual journey of each practitioner. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Namaskar.